buddy. Clearing. La 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 la. Okay, let's get into what do the divine masculines need to know about the divine feminines right now. So thank you, divine creator, for using me as a channel of only the highest, most beneficial information coming through. What can we see for the masculines that they might benefit from knowing about the divine feminines and where the DFs are at on the journey at this time? What can we see? What instruction can we get for the masculines? Oh wow, I just caught unconditional love on the fly there. What instruction can we bring in for the masculines regarding what we're going to see? And let's have a look at some of the emotions connected with what we're going to see and the emotional processing that can happen regarding where the feminines are at. All right, conscious mind about the connections, DFs. Wow, moon. I heard letting the cat out of the bag. So the moon in the inverse is secrets coming to light about what they want. Looks like divine feminines are becoming much more aware of what they actually want. It's funny because when somebody is wanting to be rescued, knight in shining armor, wanting that fairy tale in limerence, wanting to be chosen, before really choosing themselves, it's an external thing. What I'm getting here is that the feminines through these journeys have really gotten in touch with what they want, not what they think their masculine would want or a masculine would want, or you know what I'm saying? The feminines are first person now feeling their actual wants and desires rather than the fairy tale or something that's one step removed. What do the masculines need to know about this? The high priestess. So you've been watching your feminine come into this elegant knowing, excellent knowing, authentic knowing. You've been taking an approach of being aloof, masculines, and this is merciful. It is humble. It is compassionate. And it is producing results. Your feminine is very much getting to know themselves. What is the emotion connected with this? Denial. I acknowledge my fear, but I replace it with the insight of awareness. So the shadow of this is that some of your aloofness might have stemmed from fear, divine masculines. However, that's okay. It's a two-way mirror here. You've been dealing with your fear, and your feminine has had to overcome their fear to get to know who they really are and what they really want. What can we see for the feminine's thoughts on their divine counterpart? Well, walking away from the things that haven't produced fruit, kind of looking over their shoulder to see if there's something they've missed, something salvageable, something of an invitation still there. We also get this telepathic energetic connection between the two. So they are thinking that possibly that's dipped off. It's in the reverse. So they may not be feeling it like they thought they were or like they were in the past. They might actually be disconnecting from you, divine masculines. They might actually be letting go. They don't 100% want to. They're still looking back over their shoulder here, wondering what your role will be in their life. But they're not chasing, they're not clinging, they're not desiring something that does not desire them. And yes, that does give them a little bit of space to figure out what they do want. What do the masculines need to know? You've got to figure out what you also want. This is lack of communication, but It's productive. There are lightning strikes here. So both, it's like equal. Both are being asked to really analyze, first person, what each would like to do next in their lives. There's some sort of spaciousness happening here. What is the emotion connected with this? Imagination. I embrace and nourish the creative aspect of my mind. This is a deep internalized motion. It's in the inverse, so it's not a time to reach to the other one for those creative ideas. It's really feeling into what each of us want. I'm getting that it might be a little bit simultaneous, that even though it's not collaborated, there's a truing of the hearts towards the things that each really adore. In karmic connections, that compatibility isn't there. But in aligned connections, even if you don't communicate and brainstorm together, you still both have an affinity for the key things that you both resonate with. And so there's something about honing your particular resonance with the things that you adore that's being cultivated right now. What are the feminines thinking of the masculine, of the connection on the heart space? Bravery, they know it's more than friends. So it's kind of uncertain, ambiguous. They might be a little confused about where it's at. They know they want more than friends with you, masculines, but they also know that maybe a base of friendship isn't a bad thing. There just seems to be some bravery because it's uncharted territory. This connection isn't easy to allocate one or the other. And so the feminines they have room in their hearts for whatever it's going to be. What do the masculines need to know? Healing. Here's that heartache. This is the ride or die energy. This is, the two have been through quite a bit. There feels like this potential with the Three of Cups, the Three of Swords, both in the inverse. There does seem like there's a potential to turn that frown upside down. I just heard. There does seem to be something in the works. I just heard spanner in the works. There does seem to be a mutual desire for progress here, for depth, for deepening. I'm just getting that it could go so many ways, but the energy is promoting closing out old cycles. What is the emotion here? Grief. I understand that losing something is an opportunity to appreciate it. So both are aware of the other in a objective way. Non-attachment. When we're in attachment, there's very little room for truly honoring the sovereignty of other. When we're in non-attachment, we can show up fully and recognize and honor, respect each other and be fully accountable for our own side of the energy, our wants, our dreams, our conduct, our yeses, our nos. But there does seem to be this recognition that the other isn't just an extension of us. There is something very fragile about coming to terms with not having ownership of that other. I'm getting that many in the twin flame community have realized that having a twin flame does not give you some kind of, I heard, bragging rights or extra credibility to come into union with that person. Your twin flame may or may not result in a romantic union, but you will learn unconditional love if you're on a twin flame journey. When you actually learn that, you will know if you're meant to come into union or not. But at various stages on the journey, we do feel that this person is alien, other, distant, separate. But we also realize how aligned and poignant the connections are. And that's sort of this bravery and ride or die energy. What can we see on the heart space for the masculine? What? The moon again in the inverse? Oh, well, I guess there are a couple of moon cards in this deck. We got it both times here in the inverse. And the star. I love you to the moon and stars and back. That's what the feminines are saying, masculines. Like, they really know that you are part of their destined path. And this is their deepest truth. The moon divulging the depth of their love is that they really actually love you. Again, that does not have ownership with it, just deep gratitude and appreciation. I just saw 1111. What do the masculines need to know about this? Receive it. You know, regardless if this is a friend, a lover, a divine counterpart, an aligned one, twin flame, a soulmate, whatever it is, just be so grateful that someone loves you, masculines. You know, that you love this person. And really allow that to be there. Appreciate it. What is the emotion that's connected? Judgment. I understand that everyone has their own unique path and challenges. Exactly. So your feminine is not an extension of you, in so much as they do have their own perspective, thoughts, beliefs, stages of development, struggles, triumphs, strong suits, weaknesses. And loving unconditionally does mean that you love them unconditionally without judgment, that, you know, this beautiful, good person, forgiveness of self and other, basically. You don't have to enmesh beyond what feels good and right and true, but you don't have to condemn, reject, resist in all ways. There are redeeming things here, and it feels like a heart softening. The Daughter of Cups, this is the hopeless romantic, and in the inverse, it's like almost that feeling of after you've sobbed, after the loss of a loved one, you've sobbed so hard, you can't sob anymore, and you're just in that very sincere gratitude that you know that person. That's what I'm feeling there for the masculines, and just grateful for it all. Thanking your lucky stars. And the feminines feel this way too, as hard as it is sometimes. We're all better off for it. What can we see for what the feminines are wishing? The Devil in the inverse and Prince of Pentacles. So the feminines just want the obstacles to be gone and to be working on this connection in a really authentic way, without all the testing and the questioning and the skepticism and the frustration. The feminines just want to get to the good part. What do you need to know, masculines? Connections like this. So the Prince of Pentacles always makes it to becoming this King of Pentacles, which is the long-term commitment. This is hubby energy, it's life partner, it's entrepreneurial. This is saying you have what it takes, masculines, to tune into the central sun, to download this spectrum of instructions. You are up for the challenge. You are up for the task. You have what it takes. You have learned how to tune into all of these various radio stations. There is nothing you can't handle. And your feminine is somebody who can handle the devil and continue investing with the right attitudes, with the right alignment. That's rare. It's rare. What is the emotion connected with this manifestation? Growth. I want to expand my consciousness and my awareness. So yeah, masculines, this is the growth that is beckoning you here, is true teamwork, collaboration, exponential expansion in the ways that excite the two of you, that are aligned for the two of you, that can take on any challenge together, can overcome any obstacle together. What can we see for the actions the feminines are taking? Three of Cups again, and the burden. So I get by with a little help from my friends, I just heard. So there is a burden clearing, some kind of teamwork. There's something of a celebration to ending burdens as well. So right now the feminines are really taking care of ending burden, working miracles, overcoming things, karmic patterns. The end is in sight, I just heard. What the masculines need to know? Prosperity and growth. So right now you're meant to count your lucky blessings about how you've changed because of this connection, to really have deep gratitude about how you've energetically or emotionally or spiritually grown. Specifically, you know who you were not long ago, 2 years ago, 5 years ago, 10 years ago. You know who you are now, or you're beginning to see who you are now. You may find it easier to see this overcoming process that your feminine is in, but this is a time to really take stock at how you've up-leveled, masculines. What is the experience or the emotion here? Patience. I accept that everything happens in divine order. So this is why, this internal growth that you recognize is why things have taken the time that they've taken and played out the way that they have. Sometimes we can be more objective, or we think we are when we're looking at somebody else. But it's not just about that person out there being ready or not. It's also these blessings that happen within each of us as the script unfolds in our lives. And patience is such a virtue. What can we see for the biggest challenge for the feminines? The Chariot and Prince of Cups. She's looking a little bit like, are we gonna go? Are we gonna, are these sphinxes gonna get up and walk? There's a lot of self-love. So the biggest challenge is sometimes the feminines still feel like it's them, like maybe they're not gonna find love, maybe it won't pan out with you, masculines. They're wondering if they'd just be better off alone sometimes than settle for anything less than what they've seen possible with you. What do the masculines need to know? Pay deep attention to how you don't actually feel single from your feminine. This is my card of single. In the inverse, it's connected. It is sort of a safe, happy, healthy home card in this deck as well. It's got a softness around it, and the pentacles are all in order. And so I'm also getting the message that you may be doing very well in the material realm, masculines, but this softness is maybe lacking. And this softness is what connects you to your feminine. And the feminines are wondering if, they're too soft, too sensitive for this world in some ways. I'm getting that. That's the challenge. Is that the challenge, or was that the solution? That was the challenge. What is the emotion with this challenge? Humor. I choose to focus on the lighter side of life. Yes, so it is time to really take a look at, are you in a lighthearted energy? Is your heart heavy? Can you lighten up in some ways? Sincerely though, not making fun, but literally focusing on more of this softness, more of this togetherness, more of the gratitude, more of the appreciation, more of your feminine, and making sweet music, laughter together. What is the solution to this challenge of the feminines wondering if they're destined to just be sweet on their own? Okay, feminines, it's about freeing your own mind and coming through a transformation that doesn't think in such separatist ways, that knows that you cultivating your sweetness is for a reason, and it's so that you can continue freeing yourself and not isolate. So it's not about being lonely and isolated and, fearing you won't get what you want and having sort of a constriction that punishes you because you're not getting something in a timely manner or the way you thought you would. So this is really saying stepping out of that limited thinking, continuing to expand out into your aliveness. Continue to go through the transformation. What can we see for the masculines? Your truth. So this is communication also. It does feel like a little communication, a little acknowledgement, a little encouragement to your feminine. You see your feminine on a deep, deep level that nobody else can. You can read them like a book. And you can see this spectrum that they are. You can see how magnificent they really are. You're getting those rainbow antler downloads as to next steps and beautiful potentials. But you also know this truth of who your feminine is. And some of this solution goes hand in hand with you believing in them. We're not meant to be islands and rocks all on our own, so strong. Your feminine will flower when you also communicate. Wow. So that must be coming, everyone, because it's kind of those sacred holy tears of gratitude that are coming down my face. This isn't painful. This is gratitude. Discipline. I can accomplish what I set my mind to. So it looks to me, masculines, that you've withheld some of the vulnerable shares with your feminine because you needed to stay the course and not lose yourself. And once you went there, so to speak, with your feminine, it used to be more of a case that you might have lost yourself into the connection. And we have balance alongside discipline, 2 purple cards. Very intuitive, crown chakra stuff. I bring a state of perfect harmony into my world, and I do so without judgment. So we did get judgment, like you don't have to move dependent on which way the wind is blowing with your feminine. You can move in a sovereign way. You can encourage and express gratitude, appreciation for your feminine. But you can just let it be simple. You don't have to be on guard or fearful that there's not enough to go around, that it's a competition, that you're not there yet. We already got the message. You've got what it takes. If fear can get out of the way, if you can get out of your own way and see how safe it is, masculines. Agreeing to agree that we are perfect matches for each other. These connections are so beautiful. What is the direction in the near future? Wow, there's the King of Swords and the Ace of Swords. So feminines don't see some of this communication coming. King of Swords, King of Swords. this is what the feminines think, that the masculines have things to say, but they aren't saying them. That the feminines are fairly used to having to navigate with intuition and to stay the course and be in a deep sovereign motion. But it does look like there's a building of appropriate communication. Here's that balance card too, the healing. I'm just hearing masculines, don't be afraid of saying or doing the wrong thing. Try and just trust that you don't have to have it all figured out, and that because your feminine is so intuitive, you just winging it, trying it, is worth its weight in gold. This fire, the fire is the primary thing, and it's about you wanting to. It's not, if you can give them what you want, or what they want. It really is masculines, you wanting to. The rest is a work in progress. The rest you can spend your whole life discovering. This is really, I can feel a budding of the masculines confessing that they want to give. They want to appreciate you, divine feminines. And masculines, that's a very good start indeed. What is the emotion with this? Friendship in the inverse. We got the Three of Cups a couple of times. Oh my goodness. I understand that a friend is in my life for a reason. This is not only your best friend, but way more than a friend. Invaluable counterpart person in your life. Let's see, one energetic card for advice for the masculines that have watched this. Prism of Existence. This is one of my twin flamey cards in this deck. Separation, extension, independence, and identity. So you kind of are connected, but you are both individuals. And it's a dance. It's awesome. And because there is such a harmonic balance between the two, I'm just getting the coast is clear to start to get to know each other. Why are the two of you in such resonance? Many of these connections, that discovery has yet to be unlocked and explored fully because things have been so intense. So much chemistry, so much passion, so much volatility and charge. But it feels like there's safety coming in. Okay, I'm gonna leave it there. Yeah, many blessings. Bye for now.